Welcome to this presentation. You are watching VLSA Design Lecture Series. Today, let us discuss about some of the non-ideal IV effects. The long channel IV model neglects many effects that are important to devices with channel lengths below 1 micron. And most of the non-ideal effects are due to short channel effects. Generally, in order to improve the performance and to reduce the cost of production, one would prefer to scale down the size of transistors. The scaling down also eliminates many stray capacitances that are present in the overall device, ultimately increasing the speed of the operation. But when the channel length is scaled down to the order of depletion layer, in a certain number of non-ideal effects come into play, and these are called short channel effects or second order effects. Here are some of the non-ideal IV effects. One is channel length modulation, velocity saturation and mobility degradation, threshold voltage effects, tunneling, junction leakage, body effect, temperature and geometry dependence, and so on. The saturation current increases less than quadratically with increasing VGS, and this is caused by two effects. One is velocity saturation and mobility degradation. At high lateral field strength, that is VDS by L, carrier velocity ceases to increase linearly with field strength, and this is called velocity saturation and results in lower IDS than expected at high VDS. At high vertical field strength VGS divided by TOX, the carriers scatter off the oxide interface more often, slowing this process. And this mobility degradation effects also leads to less current than expected at high VGS. The saturation current of the non-ideal transistors increases somewhat with the VDS. This is caused by the channel length modulation, in which higher VDS increases the size of the depletion region around the drain and thus effectively shortens the channel. The threshold voltage indicates the gate voltage necessary to invert the channel and is primarily determined by the oxide thickness and channel doping level. However, other fields in the transistor have some effect on the channel effectively by modifying the threshold voltage, that is by increasing the potential between the source and the body raises the threshold, and through this body effect. Increasing the drain voltage lowers the threshold through drain-induced barrier lowering. Increasing the channel length raises the threshold voltage through short channel effect. Several sources of leakage current as current flow in nominal off transistors. That is, when VGS is less than VT, the current drops off exponentially rather than abruptly becoming zero. This is called subthreshold conduction. The current into the gate IG is ideally zero. However, as the thickness of the gate oxide reduces to only small number of atomic layers, electrons tunnel through the gate, causing some gate leakage current. So the source and the drain diffusions are typically reverse biased diodes and also experience junction leakage into the substrate or well. Both mobility and threshold voltage decrease with rising temperature. The mobility effect tends to dominate for strongly on transistors, resulting in lower IDS at higher temperature. The threshold effect is more important for off transistors, resulting in higher leakage currents at high temperature. In summary, you can say that mass characteristics degrade with temperature. It is useful to have a qualitative understanding of non-ideal effects to predict their impact on circuit behavior and to be able to anticipate how devices will change in future process generations. However, the effects lead to complicated IV characteristics that are hard to directly apply in hand calculations. Instead, the effects are built into good transistor models and simulated with the SPICE or similar software. And now let us move on to some of the characteristics. And the first one is channel length modulation. In triode, the gate to source voltage is high enough to allow the current flow from the drain to source. The magnitude of the drain current is influenced by the gate to source voltage and the drain to source voltage. As the drain to source voltage increases, the triode region transitions to the saturation region, in which the drain current is independent of the drain to source voltage and thus influenced only by the physical characteristics of the FET and the gate to source voltage. The saturation region relationship between the gate to source voltage and the drain current, that is VGS and ID, is expressed as ID is equal to 1 by 2 into mu n COX W by L into VGS minus VTH the whole square. The transition to saturation mode occurs because the channel gets pinched off at the drain end. We can see here this channel is pinched off in this drain region because of this channel length modulation. Further increases continue to affect the channel because the pinch off region or pinch off point moves closer to the source. Thus, the channel length modulation means that the saturation region drain current will increase slightly as the drain to source voltage increases. So, we need to modify the saturation drain current expression to account for channel length modulation. We do this by incorporating the incremental channel length reduction in the original expression, that is ID is equal to 1 by 2 into mu x into COX W by L minus delta L into VGS minus VTH the whole square. And the next what we are going to see is about early voltage. Suppose we take the different IV curves in the saturation region and extrapolate them towards the negative axis for VDS. These extrapolated lines cut the VDS axis at certain value given by minus 1 by lambda. The quantity is also referred to as early voltage. So more is the early voltage, better is the performance of a MOSFET in the saturation region. This diagram shows the early effect, which shows the extrapolated lines which meets at this point called early voltage. And next we'll move on to mobility degradation and velocity saturation. You can recall from the equation which you have seen already that the carrier drift velocity and hence current is proportional to lateral electric field, that is VDS by L between the source and drain. The constant of proportionality is called carrier mobility mu, and the long channel model assumed that the carrier mobility is independent of the applied fields. This is a good approximation for low fields but breaks down when strong lateral or vertical fields are applied. As an analogy, imagine that you have been working all night in the VLSI lab and decide to run down and across the courtyard to the coffee cart. The number of hours you have been up in analogous to the lateral electric field. The longer you have been up, the faster you want to reach coffee. Your speed equals to your fatigue times your mobility. And this is a strong wind, there is a strong wind blowing in the courtyard analogous to vertical electric field. This wind buffets you against a wall, slowing your progress. In the same way, a high voltage at the gate of the transistor attracts the carriers to the edge of the channel, causing collisions with the oxide interface that slow the carriers. And this is called mobility degradation. Moreover, freshman physics is just letting out the lecture hall. Occasionally, you bounce off a confused freshman and fall down and have to get up and start running again. This is analogous to carrier scattering of the silicon lattice, and the faster you try to go, the more often you collide. Beyond a certain level of fatigue, you reach a maximum average speed. In the same way, the carriers approach a maximum velocity V saturation when high fields are applied, and this phenomenon is called as velocity saturation. So this diagram shows the velocity saturations and mobility degradation. As the electrons get very close to the practically uneven oxide surface, it will be scattered and follow a path towards the downward direction. Again, this electron will be attracted by the electric field and the process continues. Thus, trajectory for the electron will be more of a zigzag one rather than a linear one. So, the effective path traveled by the electrons is in the inversion layer will be higher in the case of the transistors with a smaller size. Hence, this can be modeled with an effective decrease in mobility of electrons. Therefore, the effective mobility of electrons can be given by mu naught into E naught divided by E effective the whole power 1 by 3. And the next what we are going to see is about threshold voltage effects, which it consists of both body effect and drain induced barrier lowering. MOSFET is a 4-terminal device. We know that the 3 terminals are gate, drain and source. In addition to this, the bulk or body is the 4th terminal. If that terminal is not properly biased, it may put in the transistor inoperable. So we must be careful in biasing that terminal also. The PN junction defined by the source bulk and the drain bulk, which was basically 2 diodes, must be reverse biased to stop them from leaking current from the source to drain or to the substrate. That means that the source potential must always be equal or greater than the bulk potential. When a voltage VSB is applied between the source and the body, it increases the amount of charge required to invert the channel, and hence it increases the threshold voltage. The threshold voltage can be modeled as Vt is equal to Vt0 plus gamma into square root of phi t plus VSB minus square root of phi s. Vt0 is the threshold voltage when the source is at the body potential, and phi s is the surface potential at the threshold, and gamma is the body effect coefficient. Drain induced barrier lowering is nothing but a short channel effect in MOSFET, referring originally to reduction of the threshold voltage of the transistor in higher drain voltages. Under normal conditions, that is VDS is equal to 0 and VGS is equal to 0, there is a potential barrier that stops the electron from flowing from source to drain. The gate voltage has the function of lowering this barrier down to the point where electrons are able to flow. However, as the channel becomes shorter, a larger VD widens the drain depletion region to a point that reduces the potential barrier. That is what this reason this effect is called a drain induced barrier lowering. So this is shown in this figure. DIBL is shown in this figure. And the next one is leakage. Even when transistors are nominally off, they leak small amount of current. Leakage mechanisms include subthreshold voltage leakage, gate leakage and junction leakage. The subthreshold leakage occurs between source and drain, where gate leakage occurs between the gate to body, and junction leakage is from source to body and drain to body. Subthreshold conduction is caused by thermal emission of carriers over the potential barrier set by the threshold, and gate leakage is a quantum mechanical effect caused by tunneling through the extremely thin gate dielectric. And junction leakage is caused by the current through the PN junction between the source drain diffusions on the body. So this diagram shows all the leakage current paths. So subthreshold conduction or subthreshold leakage or subthreshold drain current is the current between the source and drain of the MOSFET when the transistor is in the subthreshold region or weak inversion region. That is for gate to source voltages below threshold voltage. This is shown in this diagram. And IDS0 is the current at threshold. IDS0 is equal to beta into Vt square and e power 1.8. And gate leakage is nothing but, for example, if as the continuous downscaling of the device size has led to very thin gate oxides, the leakage current that can flow from the channel to gate is known as gate voltage, and this affects the circuit functionality and increases the standby power consumption. 2 tunneling mechanisms are responsible for the gate leakage. One is Fuller-Nordum tunneling and direct tunneling. FN tunneling is the most important at high voltages and moderate oxide thickness. Direct tunneling is most important at lower voltages. The direct gate tunneling current is given by I gate is equal to WA into VDD divided by TOX the whole square into Z power E power B into TOX by VDD. And the junction leakage is about the band-to-band tunneling, that is when both N regions and P regions are heavily doped. There will also be junction leakage due to band-to-band tunneling, that is electron tunneling from valency band on the P side to the conduction band on the N side. GIDL, that is gate-induced drain leakage, is caused by high field effect in the drain junction of the MOS transistors. In an NMOS transistor, when gate is biased to form accumulation layer in the silicon surface under the gate, the silicon surface has almost the same potential as the P-type substrate, and the surface acts like a P region more heavily doped than the substrate. Thank you.